Last month, I was trying to build a chatbot with an LLM. And while it was fun to build, I was constantly hitting a wall. Because trust me, trying to implement it for a real business case was a nightmare. Essentially, it all fell apart. And then I was mainly like,
what are you doing? What are you doing?
The bot started hallucinating, giving terrible advice, and leaking customer data. It was a disaster. But the problem is that LLMs are like wild animals. They're powerful, but you can't really trust them with your business. So I needed a way to tame them, to essentially give them rules and boundaries. So after doing some research, I stumbled upon Rasa. And what caught my eye was it's great for building sophisticated AI systems or AI assistants that combine the power of large language models with the reliability of the traditional rule-based systems. To me, it felt like the best of both worlds. So today I'm going to show you how I built this AI sales assistant for a B2B company using Rasa. And I'll also show you how you can build your production-ready AI assistants with Rasa's free developer edition. So why can't you just use large language models to build a business-grade AI assistant? Well, there are a few reasons. First, LLMs are black boxes. You don't really know why they make certain decisions that they do, which makes them impossible to debug. Second, they're not really scalable. As you add more tools and business logics, they become more flaky and unreliable. And third, they're not really secure. They can be easily manipulated with prompt injections, which, as you know, can have disastrous consequences. So this is what a pure LLM agent looks like. As you can see, it's a mess. The LLM tries to do everything and fails miserably. But how does Rasa really solve these problems? Here's what I found. With Rasa, the large language model's job is just to understand what the user is saying. That's it. The business logic is defined in a separate component called Flows. And this makes the agent transparent, scalable, and secure. Okay, so after getting excited from the theoretical aspect of it, I decided to put it to test and basically build a real-world AI sales agent. The first thing that you'll notice here is the folder structure. It's clean and organized. Here we have our domain file, which defines the agent's responses and slots. Then we have our flow files, which define the business logic. And also we have our custom actions, which allow us to connect to external APIs. Let's talk about the domain file. It is where you define what your agent can say and also the information it needs to collect. You can think of it like the agent's personality. So you can put all the responses in this file which your agent can respond with, and also the information that it needs to collect in several flows as well. And talking about flows, flows are the heart of Rasa agent. They are like the blueprint for conversations. In general, you define the steps in the conversation, and the LLM's job is to figure out which flow to run based on the user's input. This is also a huge improvement over the traditional intent-based systems where you do need to provide hundreds of training examples. Now for the fun part, we are going to quickly train the Rasa agent and then test it using the Rasa Inspector. And by the way, the Inspector is a really good tool that lets you see exactly what's going on under the hood of your Rasa agent. You can see which flow is running, what slots have been filled so far, and what the large language model is thinking. It's essentially like having a debugger for your AI assistant. And check this out, even when I change my mind or go out on a tangent, the agent still stays on track. And that's because Rasa has built-in support for conversation patterns, which makes the conversation feel natural and flexible. But what about hallucinations? Can the agent be tricked into doing something it's not supposed to do? And the answer is nope. The agent stays on track. And that's because the business logic is defined in the flow. So Rasa cannot just make things up. And this is exactly what makes Rasa so reliable and trustworthy. But what if the user asks a question that is not covered by any of the flows? That's where RAG comes in. RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation, allows the agent to search something in the knowledge base and uses that information to answer the user's question. It's a great way to handle long tail questions and make your agent even more helpful. And if you need to connect with external systems or APIs, you can use the custom actions. This is also how you can bridge the gap between the AI assistant and your existing infrastructure. For example, here I'm making custom calls to this Google Sheet API for every interaction that gets logged into it. So after building this, I'm genuinely impressed. I have a powerful, reliable, and scalable AI agent that I can trust in a business setting. and I'm actively using it on iomex.com for our L1 sales support. So if you have been running in the same wall with pure LLM agents, I think Rasa is definitely worth a look. I believe it's the perfect tool for building production-ready AI assistants that your users will love. And they do have a free developer edition, so you can try it out yourself. And if you use the link in the description, that lets them know that I sent you and also helps the channel grow. So once you have deployed your Rasa agent, share the link in the comments of your website or web application, and I would love to see what kind of agent you have built so you can share with the community as well. With that said, thanks for watching, and as always, happy coding. I'm gonna see you next time.